I got the power, I share. Hell, all I do my red. Flow change like oh yeah. To my fans, more to pray. Traffic and African rituals. I know it's far from typical. I know they calling it mythical. I just be calling it mystical. Whoa, black magic with white fabric, they petrified. I see through the ancestors' eyes. You can't see it cause you westernized. My chain hang for oh boom. That bling's lit, I'm in tune. That high giant is in the air, boy. That smoke fills up that room. I'm consumed. I laugh at y'all. Grant my people with good health. Don't talk about it, but I live it, boy. You grant my folks with plenty wealth. I walk the path of that shoot. Then they recite no doom. 2 mouths up and 2 mouths down. Got balance made in my view. Oh yeah, bring your winds to change. Power down, I share. Arun Miller, getting it purpose. Power down, I share. Throw my obies through my head. Power down, I share. Read my Odu, eat by daily. Power down.
Peace to the guys. What's good, young elder? Peace, Chief. You on mute?
Hey, Rob, out to the family, man. Peace. What's going on, man? We got it going. We got it. We on working on a lot right now in the background.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good with you guys? What's been going on?
Oh yeah, like I say, I'm pulling out all these. Hey, I got that. How to authenticate your birth certificate coming out. So remember them books? I don't know if I told you about them books. These books they got about the Scrawl Man, UCC, correct your political status. This right here is the Scrawl Man one. Then we got the nationality disorder. Then we got the U.S. We got the Constitution of the Nuwaubian Nation, and then we got the Moorish National Divine Movement. All these gonna be connected with the work, the information that I'm putting out and putting together right now on authenticating your birth certificate and reclaiming the Scrawl Man. For people that want to do that, some people don't want they don't want to. Some people, like I said, we cover all perspectives, right? We cover, so people ain't gonna be able to say, "Oh, well, he didn't teach this." Nah, we covering it all, man. For people that want to do it, we're gonna put the information out there for them. So that's the next tape that I'm putting out is on how to authenticate your birth certificate and claim your social and the QSIC number and all that. So we got that information. That's what I'm working on right now. And I should have it out by Thursday because I'm going live with Rod tomorrow. So I should have it out by Thursday.
Yeah. So tonight, we linking up with Goddess Mama Kali. Everybody keep talking about land this and land that. But a lot of people don't have no land to know what's going on in the first place. My stance on that, I want to talk about the mineral rights of the land because everybody want to have land but don't know what to do with it. So I wanted to play a couple of videos and speak on that about overstanding mineral rights as well, and I got a couple special guests that I want to bring in and touch on it a little bit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, with no further ado, let me play a quick video and see what you think about this real quick while we're waiting on Mama Kali.
Mineral assets for a living. I'm also an oil and gas attorney with over a decade of experience buying, selling, and developing oil and gas properties all across the country. I created Minerals Guide to help mineral owners just like you better manage their mineral assets and better understand the market for mineral rights. In order to find your minerals, you have to start with your property description. And no, I'm not talking about a street address. I'm not talking about a municipal address. I'm talking about the legal description of your property that's contained in your deed. So legal descriptions are used in deeds and other legal instruments to specifically describe your property distinct from every other piece of property in the world. So your property description will be contained in your deed. It will also be listed in your oil and gas lease, or if you acquired your properties through inheritance, it could be listed in a will or even a judgment of possession. If you're dealing directly with a landman or an oil and gas company, they may be able to provide provide the property description to you. If not, you'll be able to find your property description by getting your hands on one of these documents. And you'll be able to find these documents in the deed records of the county or parish where your property is situated. Nowadays, most county clerks of court are going to have their deed records available online. And you're going to want to search these records using your name and potentially the person that you purchased or inherited the minerals from. For example, if your minerals are located in Weld County, Colorado, you're going to want to go to the website for the Weld County Clerk and Recorder and do an official record search. Search the records using your full name and review the results until you find a deed or other instrument that describes your property. The next step is to find your minerals on a map using your state's Oil and Gas Conservation Commission website. Most, if not all, oil and gas producing states have free GIS mapping software available on their website to the public. Some are easier to use than others. Texas is probably the worst, but they are pretty handy for locating your minerals and seeing oil and gas activity in your area. For example, let's say that you own mineral rights in a 40-acre tract in Weld County, Colorado, with the following property description: the southwest of the southwest of Section 31, Township 1 North, Range 66 West. To find this tract on a map, you'd go to the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission website, or COGCC. I'll post a link to the COGCC website down in the comments. You're going to want to navigate to the map tab, and then you can use the map to zoom to your county and then to your property description. And after you've located your minerals, you may be able to use other filters and functions on the website to see oil and gas wells and permits in your area. There may be layers for oil and gas wells and well bores. You may also be able to click on the wells to find more information, including who the operator is, permit and spud dates, as well as monthly production information. And presto, you found your mineral.
Yo, and tonight I got the brother on real quick. This is an elder friend of mine. He's always talking about mineral rights. He's the first one that actually broke it down to me. So I wanted to bring him in just to do a real quick intro or little informational on it real quick. How you doing, Brother Love? You there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you gonna break it down for us, Chief?
Okay, well, the context in which I was speaking was about people, particularly a lot of younger people who are inheriting land from one of their relatives, and they were asking me about the viability, like, in other words, how to best use the land, how to best generate income from the land. And as far as the video you showed, that's the legal side of understanding mineral rights. And all of that has to be done. I was talking about the agronomic aspect of the mineral rights. And that's okay too. What I'm saying in a long-winded way is that we first have to investigate what the land itself is made of, and by coincidence or synchronicity, the United States government just recently offered a new service where the United States Geologic Survey will has a service where you can dial into your county or your actual property, and they'll tell us what the minerals and stones that exist on that land. From there, we can then evaluate the value of what is on that land and how it can be used immediately in exchange in order to generate income while we're determining what the legal status of the deed or the property is.
Yes, sir, man. I really appreciate it, God.
All right. All I'm saying is in the mineral world and in the real estate world, the farther one is from the source of a form of minerals, the more valuable it is. and minerals settle at different places around the earth. They don't all settle equally. So where we might be lacking in one thing, we have an abundance of another thing that will bring value to our property.
I say, let's get it, man. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the goddess up for no further ado, and then we're gonna get back to you, guys, man. Appreciate that.
Alrighty.
Yes, sir. Peace, clan mother. How you doing? Can you hear us, Mama Kylie? I can't hear you. You might be on mute. Young elder, while we waiting on goddess Mama Kylie to come in, did you hear everything that brother was breaking it down?
Yeah, I know a little bit about mineral rights because my dad now got screwed out of this, and that's when I first heard about it. Like, they down on Sligo in Louisiana. My dad lived in the country, right? He got like about they got a lot of acres. I don't even know how many. It's over 200, right? But my brother, my little brother, my sister, they all got trailers and stuff down there. I even got a trailer down there, but I didn't want to live down there no more. Well, when I was married to my wife, she didn't want to live down there no more. She wanted to move to the city. So we could live free on the land. All we gotta do is pay electric. We got free water, all that, right? Oh, that shit get right there.
Mm-hmm. Mama Kylie, can you say something for me, please?
Yes, for a long time I couldn't hear you.
No
so
worries.
I put it in the chat. So I guess we're okay now.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
can hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can. How you doing?
Great.
Look, I'm about to get out your way. Your elder wanted you to come back tonight to talk about the land, mineral rights. Everybody wants to talk about land. I know recently I was telling the people about your land and everything, and on by your permissions, and people were like, yo, real ones don't talk about who got the land, who don't got the land. Well, this guy just asked us to speak out about the land because she needs help on the land. She's not doing all the gardening. She ain't doing the sweat equity. She did all the work she was going to do by acquiring the property. So, Mama Kylie, with no further ado, I'm gonna get out your way. Young elder, did you have anything for Mama Kylie before she gets started? Because you already know when Mama Kylie gets started, the area's gonna come all the way out. So,
we going in. I'm gonna try to get Chief Mac on. Shout out Chief Mac because he talk about the trust too. We trying to get into once we get the land. If you own your own land, putting it into a trust like the rich people do, and they try to deter us and gaslight us out of this. But they do it all the time. Like all the pale man, which he really don't even got no business owning no land. Nobody got no business owning land over here but us, really. But they all these people put their land in the trust, the Rothschilds, all these people. But then they tell us don't do no paperwork, don't do this, don't do that, and then we left hanging, and sometimes people lose their inheritance. Like my granddaddy had all his land, even though he didn't put it in a trust, we still got the land. But now I'm looking into putting this land into a trust, right? So it could be pretty much untouchable by the parasitic entities who are pretty much going out. But putting the land into a trust is definitely something that everybody need to look into if you got some land, because how they plan it, right? So I want to know what Mama Callie think about putting her land into a trust, like Michael Irvin did all of his. Deion Sanders did his, right? Deion Sanders got his land in a trust. Michael Irvin got his land in a trust. Shaquille O'Neal got his in the trust. So all these rich people got their land in the trust, but then for the poor people, they telling us, or the people that's in middle class, they telling us, oh, don't worry about no paperwork. Paperwork is a setup. They trying to gaslight us up out of this information. So what do you think about that, Mama Kelly?
Well, I think it was 2016 when I put my land in a trust. Okay. I used the template of a tribal trust. Okay. And so my land has been there in the trust since 2016. Now, because, I'm going into my 82nd year now, and pretty much, my children and grandchildren have moved away, and I'm pretty much here with, no family around me. They're close by. They're really close by, like 5 minutes away, but no one living on the land with me. There is a supposed caretaker now, and I wish he would take care. But as far as the trusts are concerned, believe me, this is the only way. And it changes your tax status too, because when I put my land into a tribal trust, there was no more tax on it. So this is something you're absolutely right, bruh. Our people, and we're losing our homes all the time. I have just recently found out that those people in New York, the New York boroughs who own their land, I mean, own their homes and everything, it's being stolen from them. Stolen by, the small hats.
I was just gonna say
Now,
that.
pardon me?
Now I'm gonna say it being stolen by the small hats. I heard somebody else talking about the small hats coming in trying to steal all their property. Or the first it was the
Well,
Italians, now it's the small hats.
that's what they're doing in New York now, but they have really been stealing the land from even our elders here in Atlanta area. They've been stealing the land, and our people, they're not advised. No one tells them. And so they think that because grandma, made a will, if she did, and a lot of us don't even do a will. But even if you make a will, then it still has to be, litigated in the probate court. And generally, what happens is that you lose it anyway, because the lawyers, those bar people, British attorneys, registry, they're there to take your land. I mean, they've already taken all of our land. We had millions of acres. In fact, the whole thing belonged to us. I mean, I keep telling people I don't want reparations. I just want my land. Please. Because our land is very rich. The Americas are very rich. And I might add that, that so called, was that a hurricane? I think it was, that went through Western North Carolina a couple of years ago. Was that a hurricane that caused the destruction of Shelby, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, up in there? Yeah, they were after the minerals, and so pretty much they directed that. About HARP weather creation, and they directed that destruction straight at that area because there are rare earth minerals there. What they're fighting Africa over right now. You see, Africa, the countries started out, of course, with Burkina Faso, and Brother Traore, who said, y'all been stealing from us long enough. We ain't doing that no more. So Brother Mali in Mali followed him, and then and Niger. Some people call it Niger, but I think it's pronounced Niger. And that has given many people a lot of courage to or there. But we're still sitting around acting like everything is everything and that we don't have to move because, and even the people in the Aboriginal community, you know, they are not looking at the truth and who we are dealing with. You see? But the sun is answering that. Our sun, the yellow sun, you know, is answering that. And you know that the prophecies of the cosmic prophecies of San Francisco actually prophesied this, that the created beings would actually burn up spontaneously. What we called back in those days when the prophecies first came out in 1990, 95. Yeah, that you know that they would actually burn up, spontaneous combustion. So we're going to see that in real life. But as far as land is concerned, even if you just have a little tiny lot, put it in a trust. And if you can find your ancestral land, which of course there's a sister by the name of Janice, and she's on YouTube, and that's what she does. She has a website where you can, I think you have to become a member, and she has all of these documents, including the Army, Navy, Marine, the war documents, the Buffalo Soldier Rock documents. I mean, she's got, and then she also has the documents in from the Vatican. And believe it or not, you know, the Vatican has all our stuff. So it can be found. We just have to look for it. Okay. And so, you know, yes, the trust is absolutely necessary. And actually, I really would like to talk with Chief Mack. I don't know how to get in touch with him,
Hey, I
but
might can send him this link right now and see if he
oh,
might be watching.
okay.
He might be watching.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I'm gonna send him the link then see if he get on. Hold on, just
Okay.
see.
Because, you know, Chief Mack, he was on live, I think, with Sister Kia one night. And there were lights blinking behind him shaped in a pyramid. I mean, it was like maybe about 9 or 10. Uh, Maybe they were UFOs. I don't know, but everybody saw them. And
Hmm.
he was saying, "Oh, those are lights from, you know, the building that he was in." And they said, "No, these lights are blinking, and there are several of them." So that's something that you can ask him about because I was actually watching at that time, and I saw it too. And so when I realized that other people were seeing it, I said, "Well, this is real." But at any rate, yes, land is the most important thing you can have. And that's something we need to be concentrating on right now. You know, I mean, well, you know, Sister Kia is talking about Nasara, which I've known about Nasara since 1999. And they have been saying over and over, the time has come, the time has come, Nasara, wait for, there's going to be 10 days of darkness and all that. And, you know, I've been waiting since 1999.
Hmm.
Okay. But one thing that I do know is that it is very close, but we don't know what they're going to do with it. We're still dealing with criminals. Now, I
That's
just
another question.
say what?
That's another thing I got to ask you because you was close back during the time. I'm now that I get more into the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, I'm starting to all the dirty Moors. Like I'm starting to realize that the Moor Science Temple was heavily infiltrated. Like it was
Yes.
and these people popping up on my page and they rock a fez. They have Bay in their name or L, but everything that's to Moor science they diss it or they try to tear it down. And I'm saying, damn, how the hell they are more like one dude, like the dude from Moore's World TV. He an agent. Dude from Moore's World TV, y'all. He an
Yeah,
agent.
yeah.
He's
That guy
unsubscribed.
down there, is he in Florida?
I don't know where he at, but he damn sure the agent to me because every like he say he a Bay, he got a fizz, he rocked the fizz. He say he a Moore, but he tearing down the Moors every time he gets. So I'm like, who the hell is like? So I'm starting to realize that it's people that put on the fizz. They put Bay on the end of their name and L, but they really agents. They really agent
Well,
provocateurs, and they out to deter us. Anytime we get close to the truth, they out to deter us or gaslight us out of that truth. What
well,
do you
yeah.
think about that? Yeah, Morris World TV, he an agent to me, man.
I
I didn't
think
finally
that
came to the
that's the
conclusion.
guy down there in Florida, which I listened to him a few times, and I came to the same conclusion. Now, everybody that has El Bay and Ali and Shabazz on the end of their name,
Mhm,
they're not real. And
mhm,
perhaps they never really got the Moorish science teachings. Now, I
mhm,
did study with um, uh, Pleasant Bay. I don't know if you know him. He was from the old school, and I studied with him for several years. And just before my husband, Dr. Ando, died, you know, C. Freeman Bay came to visit, and he left us. I've got his personal um, records,
mhm,
C. Freeman Bay and his teachings. And so, what I want to do at some point, is to publish that because I published a lot of people. I have done that publishing, and I've edited. I even edited a couple of books by the Orishas from Nigeria. So,
mhm,
I mean, because of my movements and my, travels around through the United States and Caribbean and Africa, I've acquired a lot of information. And actually, I am an ethnography. In other words, writing about the ethnicity and the cultural things that I encountered in movements uh, around the world. You see,
mhm.
and so that is my favorite. I
What do
really
you
love
got?
that. What was
Okay,
that?
my bad. I was gonna say that because what do you know about Noble Drew Ali going to Havana, Cuba? Because of
Hmm.
Dirty Moors, they popping up saying, "Oh, it's no record." You got the last. It's no record of Noble Drew Ali ever going to Havana, Cuba. That's what the Dirty Moors saying. But I'm saying to him, yo, we got all the records. We got the Express Trust. I even sent them the link to it. But they going around promoting, oh, Noble. It's almost like they trying to wipe Noble Drew Ali out of existence. These guys, they trying to act like Noble Drew Ali never. They almost trying, and these same guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they start painting. If they can't wipe them out of existence, they paint them white. They start painting them white. Yeah, this is where we headed. We're dealing with this is how bad it. This is how dumb and how much gaslighting these infiltrators that have infiltrated the Moor Science Temple. I'm starting to realize how they are adamant. They sitting inside. They sitting right next to us in the temple, and they cheering with us. But at the same time, they gaslighting the little kids. They telling the little kids they Africans. But what about
Oh,
we ain't Africans. What about the George Washington challenge? The George Washington challenge said he was gonna trick the Moors into thinking they from everywhere else but America. That's what George Washington challenge. So
yeah.
what is your take on like the infiltration is heavy? It's
Well,
crazy. The
it
gaslighting.
was those infiltrators who came in and killed Noble Drew Ali.
Right.
They are the ones who came in and Pleasant Bay was around along at that time, so he actually was there. I'm not sure if he was there with Noble Drew Ali, because I know he was an elder when I was actually, studying with him. He was an elder. Recently tried to get in touch with him, and I haven't been able to. I don't know if he's still around, but he was truly the one who actually studied, when the information was true and real, just like Todd Street Bay. I mean, I even had people meeting here on my land for years who were Moors, but I realized that they wanted to make the Moorish science a church. And I left the church when I was 12, and so, I mean, because I realized then that I was being hoodwinked. I realized that, those people who were put up to as the fathers of the church, the church elders, they were not good people. And I saw through them when I was 12 years old. And so my mama couldn't make me go to church anymore. And so, I mean, I just wouldn't go. And of course, she couldn't make me, and so, I independently started studying, and I have gone through the world religions. And finding out that basically a true religion tells you to study yourself. That's what Noble Drew Ali did. He said, study yourself. You see, and then they said, the people would say, well, then what do we do? He would say, go back and study yourself again. And then say, okay, well, after that, what do we do? Study yourself. So the bottom line is about, hey, know yourself. Know yourself and know your heart. And you must work for your heart, from your heart. Okay, in the Egyptian paradigm. Okay, when you go to meet Tahuti, when you're entering into the underworld, what do you do? What do you have to do? You have to weigh your heart on a scale, not your brain, your heart. So whatever's going on in your head, your heart must lead. And this is the greatest lesson of all. And that's what Noble Drew Ali was trying to teach us. So we have people who know the truth, who are still trying to teach the truth, who are still working to keep the truth out there. But like you said, we have so many people who are trying to mislead us now. You see, and so you have to be very careful who you follow. Very careful. By the way, Noble Drew Ali and Empress Verdiasi were cousins. Were you aware of that?
I wasn't.
No, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't aware of it. I
Yeah.
wasn't aware of it.
I somewhere in my documents, I have a newspaper that was put out that talks about that. They used to get together,
Yeah, I think he
and
does connect with the Turners. I think Noble Drew Ali do
yeah,
connect with the Turners.
yes,
Yeah, that's right.
Gaston Turner L.
Yeah.
Bay.
Now, does that mean
I think
he
his mother or somebody was connected with them. Yeah, go ahead.
Mama Kylie?
Well, yeah.
Does that mean he's also a Naga?
What does that mean? What?
That Noble Drew Ali, was he also a Naga then, since they were cousins?
I didn't quite understand that.
When you said that Halasi and Noble Drew Ali are cousins, I know she has a Naga bloodline. Is he from the Naga bloodline as well, Noble Drew Ali?
Absolutely. You know, he was born on a Cherokee reservation. So how they can say, and in North Carolina. Now, there was one guy who attended one of the Moorish meetings that were held here on my land years ago, who was from North Carolina. And he said, and I told him, oh, I'm from North Carolina. And he said, oh, okay, what part? I said, well, my people came from Sampson County. He says, oh, that's where Drew Ali was. I said, what? I didn't know that. Well, I lost touch with that guy. I don't know where he is. I probably got his phone number about 15 phones ago, so I don't know how I would find him again, because it's been a while since I was holding meetings here, because I wasn't going to church. I wasn't going to do Drew Ali church style. You know what I mean? Because that's not what he was about. He was about teaching us civics, and we still have to learn the civics. Okay?
Mm. I
We
think that's
still, and that's what Taj was trying to, Taj Tariq. He's still around. I think we were born the same year, he and I. I
I'll say.
think I'm about, 6 months older than him or something like that. Yeah.
No,
Bro,
I was just saying that's important because everybody's saying that they're Moors or they're saying that they're this and they're saying that they're that, but they're not even going through the rites of passage. Everybody's just claiming titles. I love what you just said about the part of Moor Science Temple that he was teaching was civics, where I was learning about the so-called Moors I was learning about, they were teaching about astrology. The biggest thing about the Moors for them was about the stars. Like you said, I self-law and master. You just said learn thyself. I self-law and master. You said learn thyself, and we call it the gods and the earths, right? So you got to learn about the earth too. You got to learn yourself. So it's a lot of different things. We're not catching those lessons because like you said, there's ages in to distract us with simple arguments. But yeah, like I really want to get back into initiations and things of that nature instead of everybody just claiming things and everybody a chief now.
they don't have the knowledge.
They don't have the, yeah. Go ahead though.
Now, C. Ferdinand, that's what he did, the teaching the metaphysics of the Moorish science. You see, he dealt with the metaphysics of Moorish science more than civics. Like Taj is more like civics, but he also touches on the metaphysics. I've heard him talking about that to a certain extent, But C. Freeman L., that was his thing, and looking at the metaphysical body and teaching about the metaphysical body, and that's a part of who we are. I mean, we have to know all of these things. We have to know all of these things. I'm an astrologer.
I see.
Did you know that?
Yes, well, I did, but I really, there's a lot that I know about you that they might not know because you're very, very humble, but we're going to get to that in a second. I brought I Am Say to bring us back, you know what I'm saying, get back grounded on the initial topic of land and trust and things of that nature, and we can talk about it, but she's the professional. How you doing, I Am Say?
I am doing fantastic, doing my ministry trust work today before you called.
Yes, ma'am. Young elder, Mama Kylie, this is I Am Say. Can you please break down, because we're talking about land and land trust and mineral rights. I'm always talking about the mineral aspect of it. Young elders always talking about the land of it. We have to bring all these things together, but you bring another part of it that I might not know how to do the paperwork. I'm Tamukwa. I don't do no paperwork. But then you always tell me about trust. Can you break that down a little bit for us, please?
Yes, the trust that I work with is a 508c1a. It is a common law trust. And it is interesting that you say, Nabi, that you don't You know, you don't do that. Our ancestors didn't really do that either. The common law trust, the 508 trust, came into place for the sovereign people, for the people like back in the day when they had what is it, Black Wall Street. All of those people have independent private businesses. They had 508 common law businesses. And so this 508 is a common law trust. It is a religious trust. It is a faith-based organization trust. And a lot of people think that religion means Jesus and some kind of a doctrine. It does not. Religion is, what do you believe? What is your highest source? You have a right to that. And you have a right to create a religion based on that. And it is protected by the Constitution. The First Amendment states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise thereof. That means that right now, what you guys are seeing right now, this is my jurisdiction. This is the Infinionaire Master Vibration 13 self-healing layer. In this jurisdiction, what I say goes. And I am backed by the First Amendment of the Constitution. Congress shall make no law. So whatever I say is law here, that is the law. And if anybody wants to come against it, they're going to have to come to my jurisdiction, right? And if they want to, you know, a place of my peers, will have to go to the federal courts, Department of Justice, no state laws, right? So what I'm doing now in my community here in California is I'm reminding people, I'm helping people remember who they are. And once that they remember that they are inalienable soul beings with inalienable rights, when they recognize and remember who they are, I take them through the whole 9 chakra system. I take them through a whole marriage to self so that they can identify with the soul being that they came here to be. And when they get to the 3rd phase is the Sankofa honeymoon. That means you're going to go to your past lives. You're going to remember all of the gifts that you had in those past lives. And then you come back and we're going to make sure that those are protected. So I come in by helping them make sure that their inalienable rights are protected through a religious trust, through a 508 C1A. This is something anyone can do. Just do the research and you'll know. You are already ordained. Everybody here on this planet that came here to serve, you came out of your mama's womb ordained. So all you need is 2 other professional ordained witnesses that can say you came here to do this work. And you go to that bank account. That bank account, those banks ain't going to be around for long because we are our own banks. We're teaching that here as well at Infinity Ministries. However, for the time being, you go on and get yourself a bank account, a private, unincorporated bank account, so that you're able to do commerce and you're able to do business privately. They will give you a hard time if you do not know who you are. But if you know who you are, you stand on what you know and you can make moves. I've done it. There's people in all over the world that have done it. I'm one of many, right? But I'm here to spread the information to those that need to know the truth. You don't have to go up under nobody's church. Y'all were talking about the Moors. There was a time about in 2013, my family was suffering because the powers that were, they wanted to come take ownership of the premises because our father that was ill, you know, he couldn't talk or anything. So he couldn't talk. What does the government do? Especially if you're somebody who makes good money. Oh, they're going to come at you if you don't know your rights and you're not prepared for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I went in there and I started studying. I went into the courtrooms all proud because I'm a Moor. Maria Judith Torres Hashem El Bey is my name, right? And I went in there and it was just so hilarious looking at it in retrospect because I went in there fighting. I was like ready to fight. But I went into the jurisdiction of another being to tell them to follow my laws. From my jurisdiction. I didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. I was in there just being tough, but it was a good lesson for me because I learned, right? And I also learned that unfortunately, a lot of the Moorish temples, you know, they're not teaching the proper things. They just want bodies under their organizations, just like everybody does, right? All these organizations, they want to do that. Infinite Ministries, what I do, the I is for an infinite being, a person that attracts wealth infinitely because they live in their passion. They know who they are. An infinite knows that they are a direct extension of source. So we liquidate our assets with our gifts, right? And so I don't go up under nobody. The one that's above me is the creator, and that's it, that's all. So I teach people to do the same thing. If I ordain you, I am your witness. I am not over your organization. And there are a lot of organizations that want to do that because, gentlemen, don't take it personal. A lot of men, they love this power, right? So they just want to put everybody up under them. Well, women, we're here now. Mama's home, right? So everybody gets their own independence. Everybody gets their own community. And within that community, you create more communities. But everybody has the right to be sovereign. Everybody has the right to be independent and to do and live as they see fit without anybody ruling up over them unless they agree, right? There's plenty of people that want to be ruled over. But if you're not for that, it's not supposed to be for you. And that's what I'm here to teach the people. I chaired to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who did it way different, right, than what people are doing it now. And so I chair to him because his work is still being done through us that have separated from all of that and remember who we are.
I see.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got
Drew Ali, I don't know if you know of the book that was published by, Pleasant Bay, about, the exhuming of a nation. Have you heard about that book or seen?
I have not heard about that book,
Yeah,
but
that
I'll look
book
it
costs
up.
like
And I
three
just
eight
got to
hundred
tell
dollars.
you, Mama Kali, thank you so much for your presence and for being here. And I'm honored to be here in front of you. And I yield. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate the information that you just presented, and I'll probably have to contact you to make put this land in a religious
Yes.
rather than a tribal trust, because as it stands now, there is no government. Don't get it. There is no government. Of course, behind the curtain, they say that the republic has been restored. But which republic?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because as soon as the Moors actually made a contract with the Europeans, they stabbed him in the back. There were 10, presidents of the Confederation. What was it? It was first the Articles of Association with the Moors, that the Europeans went into, and then the Articles of Confederation with the Moors. Okay? But as soon as that was done, these Europeans stabbed them in the back, and changed the whole thing. And Ben Franklin was behind it because he said that, hey, look, we ain't got enough white folks here. He says, even he was saying that the Irish are swarthy, the Germans are swarthy, Italians are swarthy, the Spanish are swarthy, you know, uh, but we need more white folks here. That's what Benjamin Franklin said. Okay. And like you, Elder, just said, the George Washington challenge, which he said that if we take the fez and the turbans off of those Moors and them sandals off their feet, then in 200 years, they're not going to know who they are. Now, you know that is exactly what George Washington Carver said. I'm sorry, George Washington said. I've been talking a lot about George Washington Carver because I'm teaching young people about the indigenous of the trees here in Georgia. So, I got Carver on my mind. Of course, that was my husband's favorite person, was George Washington Carver. I must have about 30 books about George Washington Carver. He was such a pure soul.
I say.
He
I,
was such a pure soul. And I was explaining to the children, that Tuskegee, he went to work for Tuskegee, even though the University of Iowa wanted him to teach. And I think he was the only indigenous person there at the university, but he was so brilliant. But then Booker T. Washington came and said, "Hey, we need you down there in Tuskegee." So he took the job. But he wouldn't even cash his paychecks. They had to beg him to cash his paychecks. And another thing that people don't know about him is that he made the first car. And it was Ford. Y'all heard about the friendship between him and Ford. Or
George
have
Washington Carver?
George Washington Carver.
Go ahead now.
Have you ever heard about the friendship between George Washington Carver
Well, I
and
know the science between him and this. I knew they had business between the soy because that's what the soybean was used for, was for fuel. But I didn't know about the car part. But go ahead though.
oh, he's the one who created the car. It was called a Jessup wagon. And if you go to, the Wikipedia, you see a white man called Jessup. But that is another one of those lies. Okay? But Ford actually got his information from George Washington Carver. And what he did was he built a special a home for George Washington Carver somewhere on his estate, and brought in all the different woods, the different trees and different lumber from all over the country to build the house for George Washington Carver. But you never hear that this was. See, Carver built that Jessup wagon so that he could visit all the people, all the farmers throughout Georgia. I'm sorry, at Alabama, and that was verified to me. It was a brother who was sitting here, and we were talking about sitting in my house, and we were talking about Washington Carver, and he said, "Oh yeah, my grandma told me that Carver used to come up in this motor, car, and it was so loud that it scared all the people and scared all the animals. The animals ran away." So that was verification of the fact that he actually built that so that he could visit the farmers and teach them how to grow crops.
I really appreciate you for bringing up George Washington Carver, and I also want to just a little side note about he even himself said that nobody's supposed to be eating soy. The soybean was not designed for us to eat; it was designed for fuel. Like we talking about free energy and everything else, it was designed for fuel. There's so much that we can get into with that whole George Washington Carver thing, and I never had anybody to talk to about that right there. But even the way they castrated him, and the reason he talked so low, and man, that's amazing. And then when we talk about the land, we should make statues of this man. When we talk about land and herbology and herbalists and everything else, we should most definitely look into his work way more. So I really appreciate it, Mama Kylie. Yo, your elder. Well, thank you for popping in. I know that was the last minute, but a lot of people want to know, how can they get in contact with you. I most definitely want to get you in contact. I'm gonna make sure y'all get in contact with Mama Kylie if they wanted to get in contact with you for their trust. Now, I know you know what I'm saying, we do the business on any other day, but for your trust, how can we get in contact with you right now? You on mute, guys.
You have to go to mastervibration13.com. And then once you join there, then you could hit the number 233-5776. I can only talk to you about the trust if you are on that site. That is my jurisdiction. I'm a private member association, and I only talk to people privately.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Write
Thank
that
you all
down
so
for
much.
me.
I got you. I'll make
Okay.
sure. Yeah, we
But
try.
you
We all like.
know, that
I
trust that
shared
she
the
do,
Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
that's the
Yes, I
same
was
trust
I was
that
admiring that. That's wonderful. Right. Yeah, he was really exceptional.
Yes, he
He was,
was.
and people have just messed him up. You know, I know an elder woman. She's living on Moorish land out in Kansas, and I keep up with her. She's 95 years old now, and she's been living on that land for what, I think 60 years, and it's land that belongs to the Moors.
Mm.
And she and only one other person lived there. And so I've been trying to get her to actually come on some of these shows and talk about her history. But see, she is so sick and tired of these Moors and trying to get us to come together. I mean, she's so sick and tired of it that she won't even. And I talk to her because, we're friends.
Mhm.
But I've been trying to get her to, spread the word that there is land that belongs to the Moors and that need to be, worked. It needs to be inhabited. But we can't have them dirty Moors up there, and I know she got a whole lot to say about the dirty Moors. Of course, she doesn't call them dirty Moors, but she will tell you about the incidents that she has gone through. You know,
Can
and
you just
that's why she doesn't expose herself too much. She's tired of it. What, 60 years? But she joined the temple when she was 14. Her parents were there. And so they actually studied literally her parents. So when she was 14, that she's been the Moor since then, but she doesn't she just doesn't associate anymore because what do you do? I mean, 60 years, 70 years, you trying to talk to somebody, trying to tell them what we need to do, and they just act like niggas. I can't call them nothing else. You get tired. You
Yeah.
just get tired.
Well,
You know.
it's a new age and take day. Let her know that she never experienced the young elder and the Richard Stone network. You know what I'm saying? Our situation is a little bit different, and we're not trying to
Yeah.
convince nobody of nothing. We're only a light post for the people that think like us, like-minded people. That's it. That's all. Most definitely tell her. What say, Chief?
go ahead, go ahead. At the point when you get through, I got a question for Sig before
Yeah,
she leaves.
but yeah, just please let her know that, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna hold space for her and get that message out to the people that need to hear that message. You know what I'm saying? No prophet is accepted by their own. It's always the outsiders that need the message. Everybody that most people from Saudi Arabia are born and raised in Islam and don't know nothing about Islam. They don't live Islam, they don't, you know what I'm saying? The people that so likewise, those Moors, they might have grew up in it and everything else, but they don't appreciate what's really going on. Everybody just about them, like I say, getting $1 for a status correction. But go ahead, young.
Yeah, yeah, what the ministry trust, like said, talking about Deion Sanders got it on his property, and that's why he don't pay tax, right? And I think Shaquille O'Neal and uh Michael Irvin did the same thing as the Deion. But this is my question from I am saying, do you know anything about the Express Trust? Because we got a lot of Moors popping up. They saying, oh, well, it's a fraud. Oh, you got to be part of the Moore Science Temple to be involved with it. Do you have anything on the Express Trust that Noble Drew Ali set up after he came back from Havana, Cuba? And is it connected with the stock market crashing?
I do not have any information on the Express Trust. I was told to stay away from anything that I can't be accountable for. And the religious trust, you don't need anybody else but two other ordained ministers to vow that you are an ordained minister. And then once that's done, nobody's in your business, right? When a 508 contract goes to the IRS, they look at it and they see it is out of their jurisdiction, and it's out she goes. And
Okay.
so, yes, what you were talking about in 2015, 16, you started to see all these celebrities having private organizations. They were having foundations, private foundations. There was the wife of Kobe. And if you go back and look, that when she won a case of the helicopter thing, she won this big case. What did she do with the money? She donated it entirely to a private foundation. Well, who do you think is the head of that private foundation? It ain't none of your business. You'll never know. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get down with a 508c1a. It is private, and you have to study, right? That's the most important part of it, is studying and studying who you are. Because when you are under your own jurisdiction, that means that you are self-governed. That means that you have to be accountable for how you operate and how you function in the world. And so in what I teach, I also teach that as well. I talk about the structure of that contract, because it's really not that complex. Look, I've done private trust before. Big giant contracts cost about 15 grand to get a trust like that. It's a trust trilogy. You need 3 other things. Did that. Spirit stopped me and said, nope, you don't need that. They made me wait. I waited because when I was first introduced to ministry, I was like, pardon me, Mama Kali. I was like, what the fuck? I look at how I cuss. I ain't nobody's motherfucking minister. That's how I was coming, because that's where my mind was at. And I thought that a minister was only a person that was talking about Jesus and Buddha and all that other stuff. But when I continued to study, and I recognized that my work, me being who I am, that is my ministry, and that is supported by the Constitution, that's when the game changed. And yes, Mama Kali, that land that you have, that is your land, and can't nobody take it from you. And all you need to do is have the proper structure set up. And, you know, according to Black's law and the way that they set up this government system, they did it on purpose, because that's why the Vatican and all of these organizations that never get in trouble for nothing, they're private institutions that work for the government. This is why they can't be, you know, that's why they work how they work. But with a 508c1a, you two have that same equal power as the Vatican, the KKA, the NAACP, any other organization. You have the power. It's up to you to stand on it. Stand on what you know, right? As Prophet Noble Drew Ali would say, stand in your square. I like to say stand in your circle. But yeah, that's so. The Express Trust. Look, anything that you need a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of paperwork stuff that you do not comprehend, it is not right. The Most High did not put us here to be deficient and to be mumbling over some contracts. It's common law. I agree. You agree. This person right here says that I am who I say I am. When I go to the bank, I got a letter of good standing from my private ministry. Don't fool with me, because I know who I am. And the more people recognize that truth, the stronger we become independently, collectively. Right? When all the egos get out the way, men aren't the only ones with egos. Women have them too. And they think that once they get to a certain level, oh my gosh, I know everything. No, you don't. Right? We help each other. This is why we have these kind of communities. And this is why I commend the community of Orisha Stone. Yes, I was busy doing my day. But when Orisha Stone's wife called and said, we need you, look at me with my hair not combed over here on the mic with y'all. Because I know what time it is. We know what it is. I don't got no contract with Orisha Stone. I don't got no contract with nobody. Right? I know what it is, and I know who I am. And so I thank you for having me today. Young elder, you are welcome to have my number. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer the questions that you have. I know your work as well. Anybody that is working for the people, I'll work with you. How about that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yo,
I got one more question for you. What do you say to the people? Because I believe these guys are dirty Moors, because they come with Bay and all this in their name, but everything you try to do to free yourself, they always try to deter you and gaslight you out of it. But what do you think about the people that saying, okay, when you get that 501c3 those trusts, you still asking the government, the UCC guys for permission? to operate, and that ties you back under their jurisdiction and all that. What do you say to those guys?
You said something very important. A 501c3 is absolutely going to tie you into the government. Don't fool with no 501. That is a religious trust that the government said it's okay for you to have that. That means that, oh, tax exemption, you got to ask, oh, daddy, for permission to be tax exempt. A 508c1a, common law religious trust.
Right.
The
Right.
authority is the creator, right? And so matter of fact, I just got done. There's somebody that's watching the show right now. We just got done serving the bank with a tax exemption, with an ecclesiastic tax exemption certificate created by Infinite Ministries. Who's Infinite Ministries? Me. Whose signature's on it? Mine. Whose other signature's on there? My other partner, who's also an ordained minister. That's all it is. Who stands on the law? Us. Now, they try to get ugly. What do? This is what we do. Go ahead and tell me that I'm violating something. Go ahead and violate my religious rights. I can't have a bank account. Show me the document. Give me the document where you're denying my bank account. They're not going to do that. Why? Because it's against your religion for them to deny you that right. But if you don't know what it is, they'll deny you all day long. But yeah, no, we got that. Whenever you are your own government system, you create your own documents and you stand on those documents. You don't got to wait for somebody to tell you who you are or somebody to give you permission to be. God gave you that permission. Well, yeah, you can call God, Allah, Dios, Buddha, Yeshua, whatever you want to call that energy. I guarantee you, when you are one with that energy is going to serve you. And that's all you got to worry about. All these other minions, this government system is dead. The only reason why we're even taking the form to do this now is because certain things have to be taken care of when we're dealing with dirty money, with that green fiat. The real money, one is you. The other real money is gold and silver. The other real money is all of the efforts that you put into your life. That's the abundance. That's the wealth. So you got to get away from all of this rich shit. Because if you're still operating under this system, you're still a slave. You are a slave. You are a slave with some coins in the bank. How about that? In 2030, every citizen is going to be offered a digital system. So whatever money you got in the bank, they're going to take that shit and they're going to say, this is what you get. Sign here, put your little chip right here or whatever it is. And if you don't get it, then that's the end of you. And all the scared people are going to do it just like they did with the COVID shot. Oh, you got to get that COVID shot. Oh, I got to work. I got to make money. So I had to take the shot. And now you're suffering. Now I pray and I pray for all of those people that be well and be healthy and abundance. But it's been a trap for the longest time. And their end game is 2030. So wake up today. And you don't have to panic or anything. Meditate, take a deep breath, focus on yourself. Look, if you came here today, you came to the right place. So kudos to you, Ache.
I want to give big shout out to the matriarch because knowledge like this is hard to come by. I reached out and I wanted to ask young elder about this because I reached out. What's the other more name? The one that's about our age. Damn, what's his name? He be you know what I'm talking about, bro?
Talking about the Duke? Who you talking about?
Duke of Tears. And I reached out.
Yeah.
They was gonna do the show with me, but then they make it so hard. Like I say, when it comes to men, the ego be so hard. It was like, shit, Moors do not fuck with me, period. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I know what science I was taught from the Ansar community when it came to the Moor. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be, like I said, into astrology, into stones, into and herbs, and the science. And we distracted because they want to talk about words. They want to talk about you ain't black. You ain't this. They make a whole lecture on that and not giving a lecture on the land and the stars and the connections. So yeah, most definitely. Young, did you have what's your
I got one question for I am what'd you say?
What's your experience with Duke of Tears?
Oh, I think Duke of Tears is cool, but I think they also watching them too because he shut down he shut down a lot of their established like they fraudulent court system. So I believe he being watched on the list. So he's very skeptical about different people who he go on with and this and that and what he teach on YouTube actually because like I said, I think they watching him hard. He actually shut them down and then he got the Latin, he got a lot of he shut the court down. So yeah, Duke I think he being monitored. on what he teach. So he, I guess he gotta teach it secretly and behind closed doors and things, and versus just putting all the information out. So I think Duke is a good Moor, but the Moore's World TV, he a dirty Moor. I'm already to that conclusion. Yeah, Moore's World TV, he a dirty Moor. He even brought people on to this doc. So, but this is my question for I am Sid. Do you know anything about tax liens? And because the people that guy was telling me, he was like, "Oh yeah, man, you can go right down to the thing, figure out people that ain't paid their tax, pay the tax, and they'll pay you 20% back on the money. Also, as well, you can claim that once if they don't pay it, you can take that land once you own it, because they're gonna give you a key. Once you own it, you can put that into your the trust, and then boom, it's a like what's that dude name? Vanilla Ice and Common the rapper. They do go by, and it's and Dash Dillinger, the producer that was Snoop Dogg's cousin. They buy a lot of tax liens on properties. Then when they own the property, they put it in the trust. Then boom, they got like all this property in the trust that can't be touched. So what is your take on doing the tax liens? And I know we're at the crunch time here, and the whole system about to change over.
Yes.
But a lot of people are making money off of it. You know anything about the tax lien system?
Absolutely. If you have the ability and the funding to go on and get some of those properties and stuff that are getting put down now for tax liens, grab them all up, as many as you can, and absolutely do that. Put them in your trust. And for those people that have been in their land for a very, very long time, I don't know if you know this, but if you bury a loved one in your land, automatically tax exempt, automatically cannot be touched anywhere forever and ever and a day. Amen. So that's something important to know. The most important thing is the land, and there are what people are calling land grabs and stuff right now. There's abandoned spaces that you can get once you get hold of a land space. If it's abandoned and you have access to it, then your position is to convey it into your private trust. Please recognize that a conveyance in a trust, all that means is you're writing an affidavit. An affidavit is your word saying, I am SCG 13. I'm taking this land that is here at whatever this property it is, and I am conveying it completely to Infinionaire Ministries. And then I have another minister sign it. I could have it notarized, and bam, that's it. And then if anybody wants to contest that, they have to go against those documents. They have to go against those sacred documents, because now it's part of your religious organization. And that can't even be discussed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it comes down to, there's just little things that you have to pay attention to when it comes to your ministry. You are not in state law. You are an agency of your own worldwide. And this is why you don't go to no state courts. You don't do things like that. You operate from the federal system if you have to, right? When I say if you have to, that means once you got your documents and you got everything flowing, ain't nobody messing with you. What you gonna tell anybody anything for? That's private living. The only time that anybody can penetrate your private religious trust is if you kill someone. And trust and believe, I've done the research before I came to this game, because I was like, why in the hell is it that all of these priests and all of these people are doing these atrocities to people all over the world and they ain't getting in trouble? Oh, I learned that is you could report them, and then they call the minister of that jurisdiction of that organization, and that minister has to go and pick up that individual because it's not in their jurisdiction. So they give them back to the jurisdiction of the church. What does the church do? Pound them in the hand and put them in another space. Here's another very important thing to know. We need private ministers in the community, because another thing that I have the right to do, a minister in my organization, and I minister in my organization, gets stopped by the public people, right? The police, right? Then they say nothing. Your silence is everything. You have the right to remain silent. The only phone call that you make is the phone call to the minister in your jurisdiction. And that minister will go down and collect that being, that member that is from your church. And these are the things that it takes more training, because this means your birth certificate, your social security card has to be conveyed to your ministry so that it's null and void. They can't use it. Once they
Mhm.
can't use it, they can't fool with you.
Mhm.
You know what I
Hey,
Mhm.
mean?
this,
So
that's
that
really what
becomes
Noble Drew Ali was
scared.
doing. That's
And
yeah.
Say that
precisely,
again.
that's what Noble Drew Ali was doing. He was
That's
trying to
really.
teach us
Mm-hmm.
that.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know what you said, or what you asked about him going to Cuba.
Hmm.
Yes. Uh-huh. He did go. And I forget the name of the brother who went with him, but it was a brother whom
Kirkman
they
Bay.
all
See
knew.
Kirkman Bay. Kirkman.
Oh, see, what was it?
Kirkman. See Kirkman Bay, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
See Kirkman
Kirkman
Bay. He was
Day.
doing.
He's the one
Yeah.
who, yeah, you know, he spoke what, about 20 languages?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
anyway, Drew Ali was given, hey, they gave him, the title to this land, knowing who he was. You know, he was actually, they gave him that, the whole of the Western Hemisphere. Now, of course, we have to, I don't know how we're going to regain that, because we have so many people who really, really don't know, but pretend to know. And I don't know how we actually get that express trust and put it put it to work. Because right now, here we are. There's no government here, but we hear that the republic has been restored. Okay, is that the republic that actually, you know, enslaved the indigenous people and stabbed the Moors in the back? Is that the republic that's being restored? Because if so, we shouldn't be a part of that either.
Molly, I do not want to be a part of anything that created this government system. So I took myself out of this system and I put myself in my own jurisdiction, a 508c1A. I work right with the energies that I have to work with, but I don't trust none of them. Not Trump, not Kamala, not like nobody. I trust my creator. I trust my instinct. Noble Drew Ali has been on my side like he's been alive. So I'm
Hmm.
I'm going by that energy. And I know that everyone, as you work independently and you recognize your power, the ego is gone. You know who you are. So I could work with you. I could work with you. We're superheroes. Everybody brings something, right? So
Hmm.
when you have a ministry, so Infinite Air Ministries, it is a ministry full of different independent ministers that are doing their own thing. And to me, that is the way that it has to be, because this world, this land has been overtaken by men, has, but it was once ruled by women as well. Let's not forget that, right?
Well,
And
the
so
matriarchy,
all the
the
time.
matriarchy is rising again.
It is, but it's rising for balance. It is not rising to push the man away, to say
No,
we don't.
not at all.
It's to know everybody has their place and their position. Let's respect that.
And their duties.
Yes. Yes.
And the men are there to protect the women. The women are there to guide the men.
Hmm.
Men cannot actualize anything without the feminine energy. Nothing can be actualized without the feminine energy, because it
That's it.
is we manifest, we create. Great
Yes.
Spirit actually made us the creators, right? Or co-creators. You see? So if any man really wants to do anything, he has to go through a woman. Otherwise, it will not really be actualized.
Okay.
You see? And one thing I've noticed about the Duke of Tears, yeah, his wife, I mean, he looks to her for information. I've seen it because I know it, with my husband, who was considered a very, well, he was a brilliant botanist. He was a brilliant botanist, but he depended on me.
Ache.
You see, even all that he's credited with came through me.
Ache.
You see, and I'm not beating my chest about it or anything else, but I know that actualization into the third dimension is done only by the woman.
Mama Kylie, let me say something, because you always say you don't want to toot your own horn and everything else. But like I said, man, you've done a whole lot of work that people don't know about. So you can talk as much as you want to. You also a clan mother. You also what they call it, a queen mother. You actually, that's what we got to get back into. You said for the men we supposed to protect. So we need bylaws. If y'all acquiring the land, we need. I am say it's about the way of life, right? But you can't go onto these lands living the old way of life. We got to have our own structures, and like young elder said, no, but you at least been doing this. What I am saying is doing today. He laid the foundation. Now we got to live it. We got to dress different. We got to talk different. We got to wear our sacred adornments different. You know what I'm saying? And once we get into all these, we also have to have those bylaws and those rites of passage for men to even come back and forth into these realms per se. Now, as far as you going back to that, can you please talk on that a little bit? Weren't you a crown queen mother one time in Africa?
Oh yes, in Ghana, yes. But I mean, that's good. But I belong to here. I lived in Ghana for 4 years, and of course, I traveled all over Africa, East Africa, North Africa, West Africa. I never went to South Africa or that southern part, but I traveled all over and well respected all over and well accepted all over. But, my home is here. You see, and I had to come back to help my people. You see, those are good people, some of them, but this is home.
Sankofa.
And so that's the reason why I'm here. And why do I need to claim to be anything other than a mother, which I am, and I'm a grandmother, and I accept all children. That's why I'm teaching children now, because these are children that live in the city. And when they come around here, I mean, this wide open space with all kinds of trees, they don't know. Hey, because we've been having all this rain, there are mushrooms coming up in the yard because we don't use any chemicals or anything here. And we have a lot of the indigenous animals who also live on this land. So I was so excited to see the mushrooms because that connected in, with George Washington Carver, because his specialty was mushrooms. And
Wow.
mushrooms are some of the most complicated, complex, and unidentifiable, but he was an expert. And so there were about three, I think we saw three different species just right in my yard. And so I showed them to the children, and I told them about, why George Washington Carver was so they wanted him to be a teacher there in Iowa. We're talking about the early part of this century, and it ain't nothing but white folks there, even now in Iowa. But he was devoted to his people and didn't even want to be paid for it. I don't know what he asked or got from Henry Ford, but he probably didn't get nothing because Henry Ford. Did y'all know that he's the one who set up the factory for Henry Ford?
Well, I didn't know that part.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It was based on how a plant flower of the plant manifests and is put together. Because the flower produces the fruit. You have to have the flower before the fruit. So that's why we have flowers blooming in the spring, and they become a fruit of some sort, or berries or something, by fall, and that's when we have our harvest time, right? And so he actually showed Henry Ford how to actually put a plant together, a industrial plant together, based on how a flower is developed. You
See.
see, yeah, I mean,
That's
so
that's
I
interesting.
don't think I haven't seen anything, or not that I've read a whole lot about Henry Ford, but I've never seen any reference from Henry Ford about what George Washington Carver did for him.
Now
Have
you
you?
just cracked heads on that plant. The factory is a plant, man. Yeah, you just
It's the
put it all
plant.
together for me. That's
That's
right.
where the
That's
name plant came from.
that's crazy. Like you just cracked the heads on that. Yeah, that's some heavy stuff right there.
Yeah,
Henry Ford is also the one that came out with the 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. You got to hit the clock, new plantation format too.
right, right, right.
Plantation. Somebody
Great.
said plantation.
Great.
Wow, that's crazy.
I tell you, it's really something. There would be no America without our people. Of course, we know that. And another thing that I told the children was about, our sister, Shirley Ann Jackson, who created the laser technology. And so I told the children, okay, go to your phone and look up laser technology creator. And so what did they show? They show a white man. He probably got the what they call it, Nobel Prize.
Yeah, Peace
Yeah,
Prize. Yeah,
for inventing the laser, which was done by Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson.
I see.
Now, but when you work for somebody, then that company owns whatever you create. So that's why it's so important that we don't give our information away like we have done in the past. We're good people. Just like Carver, I mean, why do I need to sell my stuff? Except now, living in this third dimension, I gotta have something, some fiat just to survive. Now, as far as the Nasara, which is supposed to come about, uh, I'm not sure. I've been waiting for it for a while. I know the whole story about it, even how it got started. When the uh, those guys who there were retired generals and admirals who realized that what was really happening here, and how the banks were stealing the land from their fathers, which they stole. I mean, so they got mad about the banks stealing what they thought was their land. You see, so they went and tried to get that. That's a whole nother story. I don't want to get into that. But Sarah was created to give us back everything that was stolen. And I know that, one of the big things that happens with Dr. Kia Pruitt, and I have the greatest respect for her, she is pumping that, which I hope that they are honorable. But from what we're seeing now, I can't see it actually happening without some stipulations. You know, how they are, because we're talking about criminals. Hey, you guys, did you know that in this session of so-called Congress, which we know there's no real Congress going on, did you know that 6 of the members have all died just in this session? 6, just in this session. And the other half of them, are got all kinds of illnesses. They old people. Well, I am too, but I'm not trying to pretend that I'm running a country, and trying to do the right thing, because we know that the U.S. government and what this fake Trump is trying to do. I mean, all we got to do is look at this so-called Charlie Kirk assassination. I mean, look, the FBI, the CIA, the military, all of those criminals, the Epsteins, and all of those criminals, and the small hats are all involved in that. And I don't care what anybody says about Candace Owens, but she has exposed that to everybody, the
You talking
world.
about Dr. Candace Owens in Houston?
No, Candace Owens. Me
The
personally,
podcaster.
she's kind of like a dual agent, I
Oh, I know
suppose.
who you talking about. Yeah, I know who you talking about. Now it's the Candace Owens in Houston too. She's an activist. She be down there doing her thing on the apartments and shit. But I know who you talking about. You talking about the other one, the other Candace Matthews. I know who you talking about. Candace Owens, not Candace Matthews. I'm thinking about
No,
Candace
Candace
Matthews.
Owens. But what
Yeah.
she has shown the whole world is the criminal institution that's running the world. That's what she's
Mm-hmm.
done. Now, I don't care. She's married to a white man. Mm, you know, th- okay. So, because what she has done is more important than the fact that she's married to a white man.
It's not just that she married to a white man. We don't accept us, our tribe. We don't accept when black men decide to put our black women down to try to big themselves up in the white man's world, right? Vice
Hmm.
versa. When she first came out, her scheme. The thing is nowadays for black rage and everything else to humiliate and disrespect the black community and act like we are buffoons, clowns, comedians. So when she came in, she put it down like black men are ignorant, black men are stupid, black men don't do
I
this, don't
know
do that.
that's how she started out.
So that's our grievance. We allow a lot of stuff to slide when it comes to certain people. You know what I'm saying? Now the work that she put out, yeah, that's cool and everything else, but we already knew that. She's just a new
Hmm.
person of it. But by being that new puppet of it, they can dangle her however they want to dangle her. You know what I'm saying? But neither here nor there. I respect and most definitely agree with you said. I watch her too. I didn't know who else to had a conversation with about her, but I don't ever listen to I don't ever pay attention to the messenger as much as the message anyway. But go ahead, guys.
Yeah. And so all I was saying is that if she has played that part of awakening the world, because she's got what, more than 6 million subscribers all over the world who, watch her every day. You know, uh, but she's exposing the criminals. So we gotta let all that go. I asked my somebody else who was talking about what she used to say, okay, and how she put down black men and everything. She was, but the thing about it, I said to them, "Well, do you put down Serena because she married a white man and Venus?
I feel
Are
like
we not inviting them to the cookout?"
yes, ma'am. But look, I feel like everybody excommunicado once you're compromised. You know what I'm saying? Once you're
Yeah,
compromised,
they are. And
so
I
so
totally agree with you. They are compromised
so once you get
because I don't know how they can stand with us.
exactly. So
you
yeah,
know, and especially being indigenous to this land. I think that they have to stick with that out of Africa narrative, you know, and so many of our people are still sticking to it, especially the highly educated ones. You know what I mean?
first one.
Those that we look up to, like what was that? I'm
Who
trying to
know?
remember.
All of them. They
This,
all still pumping that African. Even Brother Smalls, Professor Smalls.
yeah, I heard it. You know, and I used to run into him and the other brother, you know, they hung out together. I used to run into them in Ghana, you know, and they had a hotel there in Ghana. But I think, you know, you can't run a business in another country if you're living here. Okay, you got to be there, otherwise it's not going to work. I know that for a fact. You see, so I'm not sure if they still own it because Leonard Jeffries is in a retirement home now. I don't know whether you knew about that, but Smalls is still kicking, but he's still pushing out of Africa. And genetically, so I say, okay, well, what about Albert Perry? Y'all
Can I,
know Albert Perry,
can I ask you a question, Mama Callie? How long
huh?
have you known Professor Small?
How long have I known Professor Smalls?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they all used to come to the melanin conferences. I don't even know if y'all know about the melanin conferences. Are you aware of the melanin conferences?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay, let's you know, Dr. Cresswellson, Dr. Richard King, Leonard Jeffries, Dr. What was his name? Uh, all of our scientists came together and put together the Mellon conferences. So I went to all of them, including the first one. The first one was sponsored by Richard King. You know, now Dr. Richard King, he was the one who did the black dot. Are you aware of that? It was he talked about the pineal gland and wrote a book. I probably still have that book somewhere. I got so many books that I don't even see them. I got 4 bookcases in my bedroom, you know, but I have to create a library, you know, because I got so many books that are in my garage, you know. So, but nevertheless, I've known them since then. And let's see, when did the melanin conferences start? I think it must have been in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. Because I got pictures.
Yes, ma'am. I just brought that
And Dick
up.
Gregory, he was always there. And wow, you know, I saw a movie based on you know, the WOL radio, which is now Kathy Hughes Radio One. What is it? Network One.
I,
The TV. Kathy Hughes. Y'all don't know her?
no, man, I don't. Okay.
Okay, it's I think it's Radio One or Network One. She
Yes,
owns that. It's a so-called black entertainment network. And she is, well, I saw a movie about it just a couple of nights ago. Uh, you know, I watched that movie. It was called Talk to Me. And I remember I was there at that radio station in Washington D.C. when they came out of a 3-story dilapidated. They started working out of that 3-story dilapidated building on the corner of 11th and what was it, 8th Street. If you know Washington, D.C., you all will know that was where the Brother Bay's health food store was there. And so You know, you don't know Network One?
I be focused. We be doing a lot. You know what I'm saying? I be focused on what we got going on.
Yeah, but I mean, that's television
Yeah.
and radio because WOL is still on the radio.
Yes, ma'am.
You see, but went into television too. So she's got a whole so-called black network. I don't have all the details because I don't follow it now, but I
Yes, ma'am.
remember when they started.
No, the only
Because
I'm
huh?
sorry, the only reason I thought parts, the only reason I asked is because I kind of give Professor Smalls a kind of a pass because I know he might still have outdated information, but that's information he stood 10 toes down on in his time. You know what I'm saying? And he'll tell you that it's brand new information out there. So I try to give him a pass. Sometimes the training, like some people might be an agent and not even realize they're agent. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not even saying Professor Smalls is an agent at all. I'm just saying that I kind of give him grace. Now it's other people that there's all this information out here that they ignore. They constantly ignore that we can attack. You know what I'm saying? But I be trying to give him a pass on it. But there's a lot of people when you look at these schools, these colleges, these boulets, when you look at these fraternities, sororities, that's
They're
one
still pushing out
that's
of
one thing
Africa.
to do.
They have to keep
That's
their job. And you know that Ivan Van Sertima, who wrote the book They Came Before Columbus?
one.
Right. Okay. He was from Guyana, right? And when he wrote that book, he was teaching at Rutgers University. And they told him he couldn't talk about that. Otherwise, he was going to lose his job. Well, he had married an American Aboriginal and had children, so he wasn't about to get sent back to Guyana. So he complied. If you don't keep your job, baby, you better not start talking about Aboriginal or American Indian because we are the American Indians and we don't have to say we're black. Now, we do know that some came from Africa. I know they specifically brought the rice growers over here and put them along the coast, the so-called Gullah Geechee.
Mm-hmm.
Many of a lot of people from a lot of the Africans from Sierra Leone were, they grew rice, and they've got some good rice over there. That red rice, because in Ghana they also grow rice, but that cheap broken Thailand and Chinese rice is what they sell cheap over there. So, but the people who are growing the indigenous rice can't even compete with them. You see.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so, yeah, there are some Africans who came here, but they intermixed with us to the point where, you know, we still have our DNA. Look at Albert Prairie.
Mhm.
Yeah, his DNA goes back 338,000 years.
Sure, sure.
And they had to change the so-called Adam Eve, the original man, so they said, from that timeline from 250,000 years to 338,000 years,
Hey, what's your
based on the fact that they, Albert Perry's DNA pushes it back all the way. But I think his DNA goes all the way back to the mound builders, the
hey,
original ones, the
Mama
original
Callie?
ones. Uh huh.
What's your take on the guy named Melvit Ville J. Hersovich? He's the one
Oh,
that created the African paradigm with the myth of the Negro slave past, right? You ever heard of him? He was a small hat. Yeah, he's a small hat. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Them small hats are the ones they stole our legacy, okay? And they are the ones who actually came here to try to tell us who we are.
Right.
They were the ones behind this whole thing.
That's what Farrakhan said.
Herskovitz, yeah, he was a Jew out of Germany, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Asking them
See,
Jews. Yeah. Germans.
mhm, and they came over here to change the narrative so that they could take over this country, and they're just about there. Because you have heard that the Jewish, what do they call it, the IDF, Jewish Defense League,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
trying to merge with the U.S. Army.
What?
Yeah, it's a law.
Oh yeah.
Executive summary just came.
That's
No, it's not
crazy.
an executive summary. It's in Congress now. And do you know who's supporting?
Is Trump supporting
Y'all's
it?
Negro Congress people, the Black
What?
Caucus.
What?
They
That's why
never
they
worked
didn't.
for us. We got to know that they are not our friends.
That's slick, boy. That's real slick on the back
They
end,
are
boy.
pushing anything Israel wants, the Negroes are going to push it because they bought paid for. They
And
can't
most of
even
them
get
bootlegs and
elected.
Freemasons.
They
Most of them
can't
bootleg
even get
Freemasons.
elected without that money from the APAC. They can't
That's
even get
slick, bro.
elected. That's what happened to Cynthia McKinney. Y'all, maybe see, you guys are so young that so much of this you don't know. I can't blame you because I tell you that they don't teach it. Unless you have someone who's
Hmm.
lived through it and saw it. But Cynthia McKinney was right here in Georgia, and she refused to be bullied by the small hats, and she
Hmm.
didn't take any money from them, and so they had to get rid of her. So they found a Negro woman, put her up, against Cynthia McKinney, and she got voted out.
Hmm.
And not only that, they chased her out of the country. She had to go over there to Bangladesh for protection.
Hmm.
So, I mean, this is how serious. And I know you brought up Melville Herskovitz. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, he was a part of that,
Myth of a Negro past.
Zionist takeover. And
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that they had to do was to disinherit us.
That's right.
And they're still working on it. They are still working on it. I saw something the other day where the Somalians are now calling themselves foundational Black Americans. Now that's
What?
something that I haven't gotten into. The reparations, foundational this and all that. I just haven't dealt with that. But for the Somalians, and so there is that constant attempt to take over what belongs to us, and we
That's
can't
not their
let it
main
happen.
game. It seemed like his main game was he created the Black American African American
African out of
paradigm.
Africa, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was never there.
Nah.
He never went to
Nah.
Africa.
And then same thing. What strikes me because Duke was talking about that, like Marcus Garvey. He from Jamaica, but he coming over here telling us to go back to Africa. And he never even went to Africa.
He
Marcus
was
Garvey
never
never went to
there.
Africa. Yeah.
And Kwame Ture, he was out
Yeah.
of Jamaica. So
Mm-hmm.
those who they pick for us, sometimes they don't even know that they're working for them. And the Boule, I think they know that they are working, but I think that a lot of our young people who join these fraternities and sororities, I don't think they know. They just want that prestige. And, you can get jobs that pay more, and, you have all of this,
Yeah. Nice
and
car,
what are
Rolls
they? They
Royce
are
or something.
materialist.
That's right. That's right, Mama. They
hmm
materialists.
It's
Mm-hmm.
about showing what you have.
Can I ask?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't trying to do none of that because it
Mm-hmm.
don't mean nothing if you don't have your freedom
I say.
and your sovereignty and your
Mm-hmm.
protection. And I'm so
Mm-hmm.
happy to know the sister here who's telling us about this stuff.
Yes,
Me too.
it's some great questions in the chat. I want to get to them before we get out of here. But I also wanted to ask, especially with young Elder and Mama Kali on, I wanted to ask about Henrietta Lacks. Or do you have any information about Henrietta Lacks? I want to bring that up because we talk about from everywhere around the world, but the genes that they got, the immortal gene that they got, came from an indigenous American person, not somebody in
Right.
Africa, Asia, Australia. Can you break down something about Henrietta Lacks?
It's that Albert Perry. Albert Perry. That's the line. That's the line we go back to. Okay, Henrietta Lacks. We know that they found that we have immortal genes. Well, and we
Mm-hmm.
have superpowers. And the thing about it is that with the activity of the sun right now, these superpowers are being activated, and that's the reason that they're trying to actually get rid of us.
Right.
Y'all got it? They've been trying and trying, and they have not been successful. Why? Because we are the children of the sun. Okay?
I say. I say.
hmm
Can I
And
ask this?
so, yeah, they're still using her. But have you heard, or did you ever see that little thing? There was a video showing how these white men have brought together a bunch of young women, our women, indigenous women who didn't know they were indigenous, and was trying to get them to sell their eggs to them. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
heard about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Floating
Okay, do you
around.
know what they wanted to do with those eggs? They
Inject them
wanted,
with white fetuses, white people. Shit.
they wanted to take the egg, our immortal egg, and take the nucleus out and put the white nucleus in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they figured that out yet, but I don't think so.
They tell you
Yeah,
this in
Doc
Captain
talked about
America.
that too.
They tell you this
That-
in Captain America. All the white people back in the day, they didn't have all the behind they got now, muscles and all this jumping high and everything else. They've been genetically modifying a lot of people, and we started giving them plasma. We started giving them our placentas. We started giving them all these different things, and they're using melatonin. Nobody ever asked where to get melatonin from. You know what I'm saying? So all
And
these.
now I have that story too.
Yes, ma'am.
You have no idea what I've seen. And
Wow.
at some point, when I am able, because right now I'm in survival mode, what happened was that, okay, that, okay, I'm trying to see how I can fix that or explain it to you. You know that these people realize that they cannot survive on this planet. You see, Elon Musk done busted up so many rockets trying to go to the moon. Well, he ain't, no, not the moon. He's trying to go to Mars. Well, that's our planet too.
I
You
say.
know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
And he can't even get out of the atmosphere. The last thing that Jeff Bezos sent up It crashed before it got a couple of miles in the sky, and that was just a few weeks ago. He was trying to put out, I think it was like 30-something satellites. You know, this part of the Palantir, monitoring system. And of course, Amazon wanting to take over the whole world to supply the whole world with whatever China makes, because I'm not so sure that they're talking about bringing manufacturing back to America. That's why I say, this so-called government we got, that's supposed to be now the republic. I don't know these people. Look at how they're operating with this Charlie Kirk assassination, because he was not supporting Israel. So the Zionists are very close to taking over. We the only people can stop them.
We the people.
And we scared ass. These Negroes are scared, okay? Now, I'm an old lady. I can't get out there. At this point in my life, what I can do is teach and share what I have seen with my own eyes,
I say.
and report that to you. But let me tell you what the Nigerian Congress did, or the parliament in Nigeria. They sold all of their hospitals to, what's that Microsoft guy's name?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Except the Catholic hospitals wouldn't sell to him because they on the same side.
Right.
They sold all of their hospitals. I still got the video where somebody who was there actually recorded it and came and reported. I got that video because he said he couldn't just sit back and not tell people what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
So you got sellouts. Talking about dirty Moors, we got dirty niggas.
Let me ask you one more name. How do you feel about Madam C.J. Walker?
Oh, well, I mean, our women, she was pretty good. She did well. We had to do something about our hair. I mean, like me, I got all white hair, but I don't do anything to it. Y'all see my white hair?
And she was funding Marcus Garvey, and the FBI, the COINTELPRO came in and said, "You better stop funding him, or we're gonna shut your whole shit." Yeah, she was funding them. Look, and then she was funding Marcus Garvey, any kind of black movement. They came in and told her, if you don't stop giving money to these people, we're gonna shut your whole shit down. And she stopped giving money to them.
She got donating.
Well, what I mean, we needed our own products. She had to decide, just like Ivan Van Sertima.
Well, there was another woman though. There's another indigenous woman that they say she stole her brand from her.
That's true. I know that story.
She lives right down the street, I believe, from a Rockefeller or something. Like, they set her up when we talk about people that got set up. Madam, what is a madam? Who calls herself madam?
Right.
She wasn't
like, it's like
she wasn't just doing the eyelashes, doing the hair. She was pimping them. You see what I'm saying? She was the madam for those higher boulets. So when we talk about the boulets and agents and things of that nature, we got to get all those weeds out the garden. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So if somebody else had an amazing question, if you can put your question back in, because they wanted you to speak on something I didn't know they were talking about, but the chat is going crazy. Thank y'all, man. Most definitely big ups to the chat always for putting out great information and asking questions. I'll be watching your comments, young elder, and you got some geniuses in the comments, so we appreciate y'all too. Young, before we get out of here, because we almost at 2 hours and I don't want to hold the guys too long. Did you have anything before we got out of here? What you got coming up? Because I love how she connected the dots to mushrooms and George Washington Carver. Because our next coming up show is talking about psychedelics. People don't understand George Washington Carver. He was
Oh, hey, don't you remember that I talked about, or I'm not sure if I talked about it on your show. The psychedelic, the Ebo game that
we did.
I did talk about that.
Yes, ma'am.
And remember, I told you that I knew the story from the beginning because we had already written about it in my husband's book. I'm the editor and publisher. The science and romance of selected herbs used in medicine and religious ceremony. Well, the plant that ibogaine comes from is a ceremonial plant from Gabon, Tabernanthe iboga. Now, how when the young Jewish boy who found out that we had written about the plant, he came to visit us. This was when we were still living in San Francisco. And he wanted to get the real stuff because ibogaine is a synthetic. But, you know, let me tell you, it works. It opens you up to your soul. You see, it heals the spirit, it heals the soul.
I saw you.
And in ceremony in Gabon, and that's the only country where it grows, is Gabon, West Africa. You know that Ludacris married one of the people. She's a princess or something. Ludacris married her,
And I know
and
that.
so he lives over there with
Yeah,
them.
yeah, I've seen it.
You know about that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. But anyway, that plant, look, I don't know which Trump, whether it was the real Trump or the fake Trump, who did executive order creating clinics all over the world, and it's funded not all over the world, all over this country, to create clinics for healing those who are traumatized, especially with drug addiction. Okay? But I'm looking to be able to get a hold of the real thing, and I think I know where and how I can.
Come on
Okay.
down for a ceremony.
But I really need people to support me.
Yes, ma'am. We got you.
And I do hope that you've made even a $5 for, I'm still, and I need it. Okay. And I, I want to continue to teach, and I want especially children because they are open to it.
Yes, ma'am.
They, the children were just so attentive, and the children they were from the age 4 to 17. It was about 12 of them, you see. But this is a Aboriginal woman, who I met at one of our own powwows, and found out she lives right here in Atlanta. So, her having a school, teaching her own and some others, she asked me, hey, can we come out to your land? I said, sure. I want to teach them about, the trees that grow here and what those trees actually give you. Okay, so that's what we've been engaged in.
I
And I
see.
want to continue to do that. And also to teach our people simply because, I've seen a lot that you haven't seen yet. Just about everything you asked me, I had some info, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I was there, been there, done that.
Yes, ma'am.
And that creation of the melanin, do you know that there was a guy, and I always thought, and he was down at Stanford when we were living in and working in San Francisco. We had our own business in San Francisco. and I always suspected that he was CIA. He came to us and asked if we could help him to grow melanin in rice in Ghana. And I told my husband, no, we ain't gonna do that. Why should we assist them in growing melanin in Ghana? They what were they experimenting to try to find out what would happen, or did they just need that environment to grow the rice? We could grow rice right here. That's why they brought those Sierra Leoneans over here. And that was one group that we know really came from Africa, because they brought them over to grow rice. South Carolina, Georgia, the coastal areas where it's kind of tropical, the very same places where they created the fiat money and put us under, the Jekyll Island story,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, and that's right out there at the coast of Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Right, where those bastards got together to create the Federal Reserve to completely enslave everybody. And,
Tamuku already reclaimed that land.
mhm,
Rod already sent Tamuku go down there and reclaim that land. Oh,
right. Well,
yo,
that's what we have to do. That's what I'm saying. We got to stand up and claim the land.
I see.
And like I said, those who have been appointed as our leaders are not going to do it. Okay? You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
It's only you and me and the rest of us that's going to do it. All right? But I'm an old lady. Y'all got to help me.
I see.
I can't stand up there by myself. Do I have my cane? I got a walking cane. Now I can walk. I do my exercises and meditation every day. I do my yoga every day. I can get up and down off off the floor to do my yoga. And then I do my meditation. But when I'm walking around outside, going places, I better have my cane because you just have to have that certain group support.
This question right here, somebody I have for you, and I didn't want to miss it. Can Mama County please speak on bar boots basket?
Bar boots?
I'm not sure. Can you see it?
I can't see it. It's so small on this phone, I can't see it.
It says
Ba-
bar bolts
Bar boat.
basket.
Bar
ARB
bolts
LT
basket.
bar
I'm not sure what that is. Can they say a little bit more what a barbex basket is?
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
Yo, young elder, while we waiting for that, you seen about the bison, right?
Yes.
Look, they was trying to figure out if they was gonna put that bison down because he attacked a white man. Man, that white man ain't had no business out there
He
where he
was probably
was.
trying to shoot him.
What's the name
Yeah,
of the
but
bison?
Shoot the bison.
What's the name of the bison on the original nickel, on the indigenous nickel?
I don't remember.
If you look up the information on it, that's 3 chiefs. That's not one chief, it's 3 chiefs. 2 of them melanated chief and 1 is a Mongolian chief. One of the melanated chiefs sold out and kind of like assassinated his wife so he could be immortalized. On the back of the bison on the back of his name, Black Diamond. You can look that up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the coins, they tell you the history of the coin that on all these different coins, especially that's why they trying to discontinue a lot of those coins as well.
White Earp and Bet Masterson and all them, they were hired by the government to murder all the buffaloes off him and their gang, and so they had pictures of millions of heads of buffalo piled up. And I was thinking in my head when that buffalo was flipping that dude up in the air, I said, yeah, he remembered all them heads of buffaloes of all his ancestors that they piled up just for sport. and he threw his ass up higher than hey, look, man, he flipped him up off the ground at least 10, 15 feet off the ground.
Trying to get him out the way.
Man. Hey, he made sure he got at him though. Look. And so they ain't gonna put him down. And some of the pale face community is mad that they won't put the buffalo down for throwing a white to make an example. That's just how cold and cruel
They ain't
are.
got no business messing with
They
them.
want to make an example out of you. But they do shoot us in the back, they walk right off scot-free.
Even Chinese. Weird, anybody can shoot us in the back and get away with it.
But they want to put a buffalo down because this guy, white man, was over in the buffalo territory taking pictures and fucking with him. You know what I'm saying?
Can I speak on
crazy and sick, man?
Can I speak on the Buffalo Soldiers?
Most definitely.
Because something just happened personally in my life. Okay. I have a dear friend who called me about 4 weeks ago. And he told me he had just come from Fort Huachuca, which is out there in Utah. Are you familiar with Fort Huachuca?
I heard of it by studying the Buffalo Soldiers, and they,
Yeah, so you know that the Buffalo Soldiers Museum is there. But you know, it's a mind-controlled place. This is where Candace Owens has exposed what goes on at Fort Huachuca, right? Well, I have a friend who called me about 4 weeks ago to tell me that he had just gone out to Fort Huachuca to see the museum because his great-grandfather, or was it his great-grandfather, not his great-grandfather, his grandfather was a Buffalo soldier. So he went to see the museum. Okay? He had heard about the Charlie Kirk assassination, but he hadn't followed it at all. And so when I told him, "Oh, Fort Huachuca, you know that's where they do the what they call it, MK Ultra, and all of that, dirty stuff that the military does. That's where they do it out there, and of course." That was very closely involved with Charlie Kirk's assassination, Fort Huachuca. Okay? So, so he was out there not knowing any of that, but he was saying that, he just went out there, to see the museum because his grandfather was a Buffalo soldier. Okay? Now, how does that is a dear friend of mine who he's been, or he's a friend of my husband and myself, who went with us, or he was a part of what we did when we went to Haiti right after the earthquake, and we planted about 1,000 moringa trees down there.
Okay.
But we went there, my husband had trained, some Morehouse students about plant collecting, what I'm showing the children now, and got them ready, had worked with them for a year before they went to Haiti. Okay. And so, he's a dear friend. And do you know, last week that brother died? So suddenly, my friend, after going out to Fort Huachuca. Now, I don't want to say nothing, but anyway, so I land that plane. If there are any other questions, I would be very happy to answer if I can.
Yes, ma'am, man. I appreciate you so much. I am saying you had something.
I was just gonna say that somebody pulled up that Barbagal. They said it was an astrological sign, right? Is that what they said?
Yeah, yeah. Gave me something to go do some research on. That's why I say I love the chat. The chat always be
Yeah.
putting stuff up there.
Astrological sign?
An astrological alignment, I
Or is
believe
it
that's
a
what they were.
star or a star system or a
Yeah.
galaxy or a
Hmm.
nebula? What is it? I'll look it up. Write that down for me. I don't have my pencil or my
Yes, sir.
paper with me right now,
I'll
you
take some
know,
time.
because I'm not familiar with that, but I'd like to know what it is.
Okay.
I did a thing on Three Eye Atlas, uh, um, and uh, the Three Eye Atlas. What was it? Ophiuchus.
He,
Three Eye Atlas, Ophiuchus, and the Galactic Center. I think that I did that on Richie's show.
Mama,
And
he's saying Barbault's basket, French astrologer Andre Barbault, current geometric alignment of Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto.
yeah, that is in effect right now. And in fact, that is the reason why we're seeing this great transition now. You see, it's inevitable. We're in the turning point, where we may even see the whole planet flip. We're right there at that right now because the North Pole is no longer where it used to be. Okay, it's
Her phone might have went dead.
Oh man, she was going in.
Yep,
That's
it
how
went dead.
too. My phone got hot and then it got dead. But yeah, no, that was powerful. She's talking about the North Pole is not where it used to be.
And
This
then they
planet.
put it down real quick. Yeah. Oh, there she go. I'm about to say.
yeah, I got cut out. I think because I mentioned Fort Huachuca.
Right.
See, y'all don't know how heavy that is. But my friend, he just passed away last week. And so he worked with us, with teaching and doing different events. He was also with us when we got the farmland in Ghana, and so,
May the ancestors be pleased with him. Thank you
yes,
for, like I say, thank you for everything you do. Like I say, please try to continue to connect us with that guidance over there on that Morris land, to connect with young elder for the real ones that's trying to get out there and put in some sweat equity. Sweat equity means we'll get out there and put that hoe to the ground and plant some seeds. That means we're gonna come out there and build some stuff. We're gonna bring some businesses. What is your service? You know what I'm saying? I serve and I'm a service. Young elder, this conversation kind of connects to a lot of different things we were talking about, because just yesterday we were talking about calendars and how they messed up the calendar and rearranged the calendar to keep us off of things like this, so we'll know what time it is and what we're supposed to be focused on and manifesting. And then young elder in the future, we talking about past, present, and future. Me and young elder in the future, we're talking about doing a whole psychedelic show to start tapping into the third eye and the crown chakra and use the plant medicine to take us to that next level. So I'm glad to know that you're really on that, so we can bring you back for that too. You know what I'm saying, guys? So thank you also for giving us permission to speak on your land. They talking about we shouldn't be speaking on your land, but the goddess says she need help, man. Hit that goddess up with cash app. I'm talking about $5, $10, whatever we can. Buy her some seeds, send her some seeds. Go out there, put some sweat equity out there. And like Goddess I am said that we need to create our own communities, and that means bylaws. That means we got to stand on some structure. We
right, right.
have
We have to be structured, and I am going to contact you, sis. Very happy to get to know you. Okay,
I say once
very happy to get to know you.
It's my
once
honor.
And of course, Elder, I'm always following you too. You know, I appreciate what you're doing.
yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
All right, then. So I'm very happy to have been a part of you and what you're doing today, tonight, to forever, because we got to claim what's ours. Okay?
Yeah.
Y'all got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we
All
got you.
Y'all time.
My heart, my mind, and my soul are
Before
one.
you go, I have one more question for you. I see that beautiful necklace you on. Is that African amber and bone?
Yes.
Break that down. What's that mean, guys?
I don't have the stone knowledge like you have.
No,
You are the Orisha stone.
yes,
You
ma'am.
know, I know herbs. I know food. I know astrology. I know astronomy. You know, I know physiology. You know, I don't know stones. You are that person. You can't know everything.
Man, I was just that's a sacred adornment. The bone on there is ancestral. You know, when we talk to the bones and work with the bones, that is protection from whatever animal that is. So you're wearing those bones. The amber's sacred information, like the sacred mother, that comes from the sacred trees, the old trees. We're thinking
Right.
it's normal trees, but that amber comes from old sacred mother trees, and it's sitting on you right now. So I mean, everybody can't wear amber. You already know that and how expensive amber is. So yeah, that's a royalty piece, most definitely sitting on the right person. You're the custodian of that, and it's custodian of you as well. So, peace to the tribe. Young Elder, did you have anything before we get out here, Chief?
Hey, no, I just thank the
He's
matriarch.
muted.
I just thank the matriarchs for coming on and
He's
kicking it with us.
muted.
And can you hear me?
I can hear you. Close now. I can hear him, guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So,
I couldn't.
yeah.
All right then. Well, peace to
Peace.
everyone, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the top of my heart.
I say. Thank you, guys.
My
Peace.
heart, my mind, and my spirit are one.
I say.
Peace.
Peace. Mama said she was tired. She ready to go, y'all. Look, what you saying, y'all?
Oh yeah, man. Me and Roy are gonna be live tomorrow. And I'm still doing. I'm looking at the research. I got all of these books on trust and everything. I'm going to scan through all the books. I'm putting together a class on. Yeah, she got it too, right? You got all the books, right? It's like 3. It's like this one too. What's this one right here?
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of them. It's like
right.
Yeah, these right here, right? I've been breaking them. I already did an AI on all of them already on the video side, right? I broke an AI breakdown, but I'm going through them, fine toothing them, because I'm gonna do a class on how to authenticate your birth certificate and get that QSIC number on and the Social Security number, and then lock it into a trust. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm trying to break. I'm gonna have a class to do it step by step. I'm almost done with it. It's gonna be about an hour long. I'm almost done with it, so I should have it out by Thursday, Friday, right? And so yeah, so I'm like, even though we trying to cover everything over here, right? We trying to cut like on Young Yellow TV, we trying to cover everything, like, so you ain't gonna be able to say, oh, I didn't know this, or he didn't. Okay, man, we got everything over here, bro. We breaking down everything you can think of, from the sky from the bottom to the top,
all this knowledge
from the extraterrestrial shit all the way down to trying to get our land back straight, man. Yeah, so we breaking everything, even spiritual science, everything you can think of. We trying to cover it. One-stop shop. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
You were right on
Peace
the
to the
money.
ancestors.
That you get all of those things, the birth certificate authentication, social security, all of that. Convey that to you, lock it in there. They can't touch it.
Yeah, that's what I'm learning right now as I'm going through the information. So yeah, I should have a class on the first one's gonna be how to authenticate your birth certificate, get the live birth. Yeah, that's what I want to ask you. How important is the notary? Because I'm starting to figure out the notary, the person that's a notary, my auntie's a notary. Notaries got a lot of power because they can, they can notarize affidavits of truth, all this. So notaries got a lot of power on the land. I'm starting to find out. Mm-hmm.
Notaries have a lot of power. 2 other signatures would have the same power of a notary.
And that's
so
like acquire, huh?
But if you have 2 other signatures of live people, that works the same as a notary.
I ain't say that's even a hard license to acquire, is it?
Say that again.
Your notary license? That's not hard to get, is it?
No, not at all.
No business opportunity for y'all to tap into to become some notaries out here and get on. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The power of the pen.
Your signature is powerful. Your signature is very powerful. And when you become a notary, it's like you can create bonds, you can create all kind of things with just your signature and another person. But if you do not have a notary, two people equate that power of that one signature.
The witnesses, two witnesses. Yeah, that's right.
Man,
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all, man.
They got the notary book. They got different ones for different states. I got the notary book for Louisiana. Yeah, so yeah.
Hey, hit that like, man. Hit that like, subscribe, follow I Am Seg, find We Know the Truth Now. You know what I'm saying? Young elder in the building. Make sure y'all reach out to Mama Kylie. Her information is in the chat. Rewind this, man. Hit that like and subscribe. Peace to the tribe.